Yeah, people, welcome back to Nicola Media House from there again. Good night to everyone. Good day, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you guys watching this video back on the replay. Bless up to everyone, man. That passed through. Remember, if you're new, don't leave without you subscribe to the channel. And if you already subscribed, man, you know what to do, man. Like up the video. But bless up to everyone. My voice, man. My voice is still a bit hoarse, from last night historical moment. At BMO Field, in Toronto, it was a night. That was a night of football game, man. Swear, really good night. I really enjoy it, man. But I'm just there, talk about, the what happened last night, share a little bit of my experience. I could easily say, last night was a memorable moment, for me watching, the Reggae Boy live in action, in a foreign country, easily. This is like most memorable moment. I don't think I will ever forget about this moment, This I will treasure this moment as long as we live, you know because it's something that we have created history. I don't think we have ever beat Canada in Canada before, and Canada have a record that we broke that record. I think that was like a decade and 3 years. I think right after the final whistle, a Canadian fan said to me that you guys just broke a long history record that BMO Field, Canada have set over the last decade and couple of years. I think he said I think it's 2010. But yeah, he's the one that said it to me first before I even saw it on social media. And I look it up and try to see if he's talking facts, and he's right. He's right. It's a long lasting result that an overseas team haven't beat Canada at BMO Field for a long time, and everyone that know BMO Field, it's come with a lot of baggage. The weather, the rain, everything, man. Cold, it come with heat. So yeah, many people didn't expect us, to win that game, especially after go down 1-0 in that first half. I have to give Blake a lot of credit, man. But I don't want to start off the video, by talking about the second leg. There's a first leg that played before, the build up, kind of build up and trying to set the momentum on the second leg. What took part, in Kingston, Jamaica. A couple of days ago, Saturday, early game kickoff in Kingston, and but a little, I think I want to shout out, a few people that I met along, the journey. They said they are supporters of my channel, and I met them. I met a couple and two other guy, in New Jersey when I go to watch that game. When I go to watch that game against Guatemala, in Harrison, New Jersey, at Red Bull Stadium, the unofficial game, and they look at me and said that this game is one of 3 games that they're going to watch. They're going to travel, and watch the Reggae Boys, and I was like, wow. I thought I was one of the few people, out there that, plan to watch all 3 games, in the Guatemala game and both quarterfinal leg, of the Nations League against Canada. It's yeah, and they said that they're going to watch all 3 games, and I didn't saw them in Kingston, but I saw them, this light is, yeah, I saw them, in Toronto. I saw them yesterday, and they were almost sitting right beside me where I was, where my row was, I think it was 134 C12, yeah, and there were like a few rows below, and because I was going out with my excitement and everything, I was cheering on, and they saw me running up and down on the steps, and they stopped and called me and said if I remember them, so yeah, big up to the couple, who live in Maryland, who drove to New Jersey just to watch the Reggae Boys play. And, they took a plane from JFK, and went to Montego Bay. They said that they just to take a couple of days vacation, just before they go into Kingston, and yeah, they leave Montego Bay and then go to Toronto. So yeah, big up the couple that man they live in Maryland. And the other two guys, I think they are from New York. I think they are from New York. Big up to Frank and Joe. Yeah, real supporters. Travel and support the team. I think I think I think it's a few people did it. Cause they were telling me that they knew a bunch of people that doing the same thing. They just prepared that they're going to fly down after I watch that game against Guatemala, and come to Jamaica, watch the first leg, then travel to Toronto. So yeah, quite a few people have done it, and it's a memorable moment. I did it because Jamaica is my country. I love my country, and it was a birthday gift for me. So yeah, was a well deserved birthday present for me, beating Canada in Canada. Oh my God, wonderful experience. But that game though, that game in Kingston that played 10:30 a.m. in the morning, everyone knew that game was washed out, heavy rainstorm. I stood at the airport for like what 12 hours, man. I stayed at the airport for 12 plus hours. Now around, I think it's between 17 and 18, almost 24 hours, staying at the airport, trying to catch a flight to come to Kingston to see that first leg. And everyone knew, what was happening, around Jamaica at the time, the rainstorm and everything, So yeah, it was a bit drained, man, but I love every moment of it. What I witnessed last night, I can't complain, man. And yeah, they chose not to fly in a storm, and wait until the storm kind of move away from the island. So yeah, I sit in the airport for 18, 19 hours, and I sleep, wake, sleep, wake, sleep, wake, man. Like, and keep looking at my watch, like, yo, when this flight going to come? Because I think the flight did supposed to land, I think 1 a.m. The flight supposed to land at 1 a.m. and then it start just to delay, but it was a connected flight because I said I spoke about this in a similar experience on my match flag. You guys can go and watch my Reggae Boy match day flag in the second leg in Toronto. Yeah, but it at the time, I said, I was to connect my flight to Kingston to see that first leg. But where I live, in the States, that state, there's no straight flight from South Carolina to Kingston, or to Mobile. There's no straight flight. So you have to connect to Atlanta, either Chicago or Florida, just to connect to come to Jamaica. And I choose Florida, because it's much closer, and it's much closer to Charleston. It's like an hour and a half. It's like an hour and a half flight, from Charleston to Florida, and from Florida, Fort Lauderdale to Kingston is like an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes it's less, depends on the route. Yeah, but I was thinking, wondering if I'm going to miss this game. But when I land in Kingston, I land in Kingston at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. I land in Kingston, and I was looking at my time. It's like, oh, next 5 hours is match time. But at the time, there wasn't any rain. The time was clear. I could see the sun trying to peep out at the time. And, I was like, yeah, the match going to play. And, start to get on the road, jump on the road, trying to get around some errands, pick up my kids, trying to get them ready, for the game. Because, I'm going to take them to the game. I don't know what the hell is going on with this slide. But yeah, as soon as I start to get the kids ready and everything, and try to get them match their clothes, outfit, everything. Boom, the rain come down. I was like, wow, I'm not bringing my kids into this rain. So at that point, I was saying it's only me alone going to go to the game. I'm going to leave them behind, and I'm watching. I'm still up to that point around 4 p.m. I didn't buy any tickets. Cause everyone know the system, Jamaica and refunding and all of that. It's just something that they don't process these stuff good. So it's not like where you live in the US, where you can buy Ticketmaster, you can buy tickets off Ticketmasters and StubHub, and if the game postpone or anything, you could get a refund or any little thing from there. But I said, no, man, I'm not going to buy any ticket. Yeah, big up yourself after, and big up yourself, Jordan, LFC. So yeah, at the time, the first leg, I'm like, 5 p.m. No, I'm not going to buy any ticket. I was like, whoa, the rain just keep pouring down, pouring down. So me now, with my nosy self, jump in the car. The rain is pouring down, people, and me jump in my car beside me. I got drive, go up a stadium to see if the game, because me come for watch the game. So rain, sun, or shine, thunder, lightning. If I'm gonna be the only one, in the stadium, that's good. That's how it's going to be, But I went up to the stadium, and it was pouring rain down, up there, on Mountain View side, and I parked over the police station at the time, so just to see what's going on, and then I pull out, and then I come closer to the parking lot in front of the big gate. I'm like, no game. I didn't see any security. I see people moving around, down by grandstand side, and I was like, there's no game going to play, man. Then I drove home back, and as soon as I get home, I saw that they said that the game postponed, and it's going to be free admission and all of that. And then when they say free admission, I think they took down that post of their story, and they delete a post, and so boom. The next day, wake up from about 7:30, get the kids them ready, cause it take a while if you get the kids them ready, get them jersey, get them breakfast and all of that, and decide to, yeah, me, I'm a bridging, I go drive out, and I got the game, and so when we get to the game, realize that we couldn't get in by the original big gate, so we have to drive all the way around to the back gate. I think that behind that around gate 8, yeah, that's at the back gate at Nannyville. So when we finally get around there now, there wasn't any parking where they initially was sent us the first time, so we have to reverse and go back in another lot. So finally, boom, we got out, and tell us, yo, the sun a beat red hot, the sun a beat, and the kids them did super hype, just to see the game. So yeah, they gave me that confidence. So yeah, it doesn't matter what today, we're going to see this game, and people. So when me reach round, cause I have to walk from all the way around Nannyville back gate, come way around. So when me reach a grandstand, you want to see crowd. You want to see the crowd, and I think I saw someone, I think it was Raymond Anderson. think it was Raymond Anderson was Joel, you have experience. I think it was Raymond Anderson. I look at Joel and said, "Is that you look like Raymond Anderson?" And he was talking to a bunch of a large, massive of people, because when we got there, they were saying that we doing it prior to first, so whoever buy tickets, they are going to get in first. And me know how Jamaican people stay, especially me see some man, come from certain communities. When you see those type of guys, you know that it's not going to take too long for this start to tumble on, and said so done, the man them just start to scale the fence, the man them start to jump the railing, the man them just start walk through, even which part, I think where the media people then walk through, with people with media pass and all of that. The guys them just decide to, yo, watching them, man. I straight through where I come, man, and then me, I feel focus on the two kids, and thank God Joel there could have helped out, with me and my girl at the time, and push through, and we have to pass over the kids them over to some people who they even know, just so we can walk, under the railing. And people, the man them have third style open, one at the time, and I think it was three supposed to be open, and the man them have one. And me I tell you, say, yo, when me see a man go through and bust the key off of the security, and the man just fly all three gate, me I say, whoa, the man I mean business, cause me I tell you, outside, there is an outside ram, ram. And me I tell you, so finally got in, and when we got in, I think we got in 5 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game, and we finally got seat, and settling. And but we should have take care of business, in that first leg against Canada, because you could see that the Canadian man, they were burned out. The man them burn out, man, in that hot sun, but just didn't took our chances, and man, LB, Leon Bailey, man, got so many chances in the game, and didn't took it. But we lost that game, and it was devastated. My son, this is the first time I've seen my son, watch a football game really keen. Like when it was halftime, he was like, "Daddy, is it water break? No, they're going to go on break." I'm like, yeah. I bring him to football games a couple of times, but he don't really. I guess he was a little bit smart. I know he grew up now, so he kind of understanding the game and all of that. But yeah, it was a really good experience, for me to can, travel, go to New Jersey, watch the game against Guatemala, travel to Kingston, bring my family to the game, my friends, and I met some players that I used to play high school football with and all of that, so yeah, it was a link up show. I've seen some people that I haven't seen, for a long time, man like Penny, Cess, Crump, man them big up themselves, Chevron, Messi, Marsh, Wilburn, so many Calabar players, man. It's like all Calabar players decide that, they're going to sit at one place, without even knowing that these ex-players and former teammates going to come at the game, thinking aside, Beachang, it's a whole massive Calabar man them. But yeah, it was, as I said, it was a really good experience, and I really, really, really grateful, can support, the country, the Reggae boys, they need the support. And, but I have another story, I had like a selfie stick, like, where you could hook the phone and, video and do vlog and that. So, boom, time to jump on a flight, from Mobile and go to, Toronto, so yeah, reach a Mobile, and I got to TSA, boom, the man him pulled me over. Cause me have a little selfie thing where I think I'm gonna show you guys. So yeah, so this the man them seen I'm a bag, and the man them get wild. Mobile pull me over wicked. Call all police for me, man. And them call all police for me. And with man them they walk me bag it, and me I tell the man them say, hey, I know already what it is in bag. It's just a selfish. It's just a selfie stick. And they didn't believe. I said, yo, I do YouTube and stuff like that. And they didn't believe. So they call some extra security, they call some other special security that deal with stuff like that in airport. And when they finally open up the bag, me just sit here like a G, just like this, one side, and just a laugh, like, bro, I said it's a selfie stick. They didn't believe me. When I found out that the TSA, the lady that called over the supervisor and said if she can pick up the shape of this, and I said, hey, it's a selfie stick. I went through the same thing at Newark airport when I was leaving New York at the time, to come back home, and then before I go to Kingston, and but so I decided that I wasn't going to take this out of my bag in Toronto, so I just leave it just like that. But boom, reach at Toronto, and flight. I think we land around 2 a.m. In Toronto. We land around 2 a.m. And yeah, yeah, man, bless up. Yeah, man, bless up for the belated birthday, man. Yeah, birthday was the 13th of November. Yeah, so, reaching at Toronto 2 a.m. at the time, and when we got there, I was like, whoa, as soon as I stepped off the plane, that cold here hit me in my face. Me have to draw from my jacket. I'm like, whoa, this is Canada. This is what the weather the man going to plane. And, when I land in Canada, I think 2 a.m. until right up to match time, the rain never stopped. The rain never stopped. It wasn't like it was falling really hard. It was like some heavy dew. It was like some heavy dew. And, big up to, man like Halftime TV was, on the sideline doing his media work, standing in the rain, doing all that. Really appreciate all of the man, do those stuff. It's not an easy job, to stand in the rain, especially when the equipments are getting wet and you have to be wearing, plastic stuff over you to not your body not get soaked and all that. So yeah, so Halftime TV and perform a teammate, long time bridging, Ryan, both of them they did a really great job, over there in Toronto. Watching, especially Ryan channel, fans saying that, it was a great experience, seeing the work that, so yeah, big up to the man them in the space, doing a really good job, met Halftime, at the team hotel, but just before the team arrived, the first time meeting him, I'm a fan of his work, I'm a fan of his show. One of my favorite video of Halftime was, I think he was on the Ryan channel, and I think he was doing like, some chit chat about, football and things like that. I think he was a reggae boy, and, his daughter was in his hand, that just made me day. That's like doing the Prem podcast a month ago, with Daniel football show, and his son, Shim he just took the show away, man. Just burst out of the room, and start to just running around playing, and making, it's a joy when you see kids enjoying themselves. So yeah, big up Halftime TV. That was, one of the video that I can always remember. You did, that interview with Ryan, with your daughter in your hand, and it was just a whole different vibe, man. So, but get back to the game. So, we kind of leave out for the game a little bit late, even though it was like an hour and a half, 2 hour. But where we were staying at the time, me and Kevin Blackwood, it was like 20 minutes. It was like 20 minutes away It was like 20 minutes away from the stadium, and 20 minutes away from the stadium turned out to be an hour and 15 minutes, Give thanks, to Kevin, driving skills, to get us, yeah, man, just to get us to the ground a little bit more faster. People, I, would I say, like, and you have the lane, the two lane, and then you have that little sign where you can pull over, and that's how we are drive. I broke, the traffic light we're looking at in a Toronto, man. Black road. If we never that, we never would have seen the game, would have missed the game. And then when we finally got a park and we reach, guess what buck up on? We buck up on the same thing when we sit in a Kingston. It buck up on the same thing we sit in a Kingston. At BMO field, I was so pissed that the man them only have like one or two metal detector for each gate. And when you look at every gate to enter, we already late. When we got apart, I think it was already 2 minutes into the game. And it took us like another extra 17 minutes before we finally got in our 20 minutes. So but I didn't like that, at what I experienced at BMO Field, to be honest, because this is a stadium that supposed to host FIFA World Cup coming in a year's time from now. So yeah, so I was really pissed, and then me and Kevin Blackwood were chit chatting, with some. Me and Kevin Blackwood were chit chatting, with some Toronto fans, and we were asking like you guys visit this field, this stadium regular watching Toronto FC in the MLS, and they said yeah. They said that when Toronto FC played, they fly all gates. They fly all gates even when it's a blizzard winter. They fly all gates. They have enough staff and everyone well equipped to manage a magnitude around 20,000 fans. And it didn't went down well, because when we got there, the stadium was a little bit empty in the first 15 minutes of the game. The stadium, it didn't really pack until like half or 40 minutes into the first half, and that's when everyone started to coming in, more frequently. Then in my line, I was getting so miserable. Kevin was trying to calm me down, but I one man just decided, say, hey, just walk out of the line, just to see what's going on, up there, where the metal detector is. You have two ladies who is controlling the gate, and then you have another guy, who is scanning the tickets. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but when I went to the front of the line, I saw 10 guys. I think 7 of them were like, Arabic descent, probably could be Bengali. None of the 10 man them not have no ticket. Them are gonna tell the woman, say, yo, the people who have them ticket, them on them way, to the gate right now, they're already inside. I'm like, so me now, knowing that, I'm already missed 15 minutes of the game. I have heard multiple, the Canadian fans going off, didn't know that, Andre Blake was making some magnificent save in that first half. And I was getting so angry, with the security, both ladies. I wasn't being disrespectful, but I was like, come on, you have 10 guys here right now, don't have any tickets. That's blocking up another 50 people in the line, trying to get in, trying to watch in the game. And, these guys were just making a mockery of themselves, and me, probably if I didn't, walk up to the front of the line, probably even know that I'll be in Toronto trying to wait to get into the stadium, and I was making my voice heard. Like, hey, look, I pay my hard earning money. I leave Kingston to come see this game. I'm not a Canadian native, who can just jump in my car and just drive back home. I have to, after this, I have to drive back 5 hours to Cleveland, to catch a flight 6:30 in the morning, to go back home. So I don't have time to waste. And they heard my voice and they start to call extra security, and that's how they move, those 10 guys, and it took them minutes. It took them 7 minutes, and right after that, everyone in my little ear right there, because it was two line, two metal detector, and everyone was trying to come in more frequently, and all of that. And when I came in, man, it when I came in, and and I started to look at the game, I think I stood there like for like 5 minutes, watching the game, before I even make it all the way around. I think I entered from a 100 and the 100 and 111, 105, something like that, somewhere right there, but 107, 111 gate, and I was supposed to be at 134. So I was behind. I supposed to be at the behind the stands where Andre Blake was defending, where that got that big screen TV right. They are supposed to be on that side, and I enter the other side behind the opposite goal where Jamaica. No, I think no. Andre Blake was defending the goal, where I entered from, and Jamaica was attacking to the area where the big screen TVs at. So yeah, I was supposed to be all the way on the opposite side, and but it was a really good experience, and I met a few people there again. I met a few people there again that who watched the channel. I heard someone say, "Hey, Nicardo," and it was a Reggae Boy supporter, and I'm like, "Oh, you know my name?" It's like, "Yeah, I watched Nicardo Meetup." So yes, a big up to everyone that watch the channel, everyone that support it, always like the video and share and everything, comment. It really mean a lot. So yeah, but the game, man, the game, as I said, I didn't see the main actions of the first half. I have to watch it back. I think no, they didn't show it. I didn't saw it at halftime. I was chit chatting. I met some friends, who I used to play with and all of that, But I think after the game, driving out, I was watching the game. The first half with me and Blackwood were in the car, and we were watching the first half, and was like, whoa, these are the saves that Andre Blake made in the first half. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, these point blank save, especially that one, the second one, he made it to his left with his left foot. I'm like, I see, I'm like, I see that's why, they were lifting up in the air, to me, Andre Blake was man of the match. Andre Blake was man of the match for me, start off with Blake, made some point blank saves. He dominated his era. Blake sometimes a keeper that he kind of iffy, but if he's supposed to come out, if he's supposed to stay, and but yeah, Blake he dominated him here, and both centre half at the time, Pinnock and Damian Lowe, they made their presence felt at the time. They didn't, even though we were under the cash, in that last 10 minutes that I saw in the first half. They didn't drop really deep. They were trying to hold as firm as possible, trying to keep out, the Canadian, them not to score any more goal. But, that defensive pair, they were really good, especially, Lembisika, man. I think a Canadian supporter look at me and like, hey, that number 2, he's so fit, because it's not easy to go in up to support Leon Bill on that right side and trying to overlap to create room, and then have to come back, to defend against one of the arguably the best left back, in world football, one of the quickest left back, one of the quickest player in world football, Alphonso Davis. And Alphonso Davis, he was on top of his game. The Canadian, they picked us apart in that first half. That's what I saw. I watched back. I initially watched back over the game, this morning, and the Canadian, they played with a strategy where, Buchanan, they played at 4-4-2, but Jonathan David, he was like playing that chop off. He was dropping in that hole, in that little pocket between the midfield and the defensive area, and he was so excellent as he done it. He done the same thing in Kingston, running off the shoulder with Kyle Larin, and he did an excellent job again in the second leg. But the Canadian, especially Buchanan, man, this player, he has been playing at right back for his club team, Club Brugge, so it's He's a very versatile player. He could play anywhere on that right side. He's like a Mikel Antonio, 2.0. It's just that he don't play with that strength, but from right back, right midfield, number 10, striker position. Yeah, but oh my God, he picked Greg Lee apart so many times, But I have to shout out to Demi, Demari Gray, even though coming off an injury, he still managed to try to help out, Greg Lee, but I think it wasn't enough. But you could see that he's trying. I don't think Demari Gray was 100% fit, to be honest. Demari Gray usually give us, a lot. Mr. United, big up us. Yeah, man, respect, brother. You don't know United, but yeah, Demari Gray is a player that usually he's the one that he's the winger that usually come back out between him and Leon. He's the one that normally get back in the defensive here and help out his wing back, and he did it a few times, but I think the second goal that the Canadian score, I would say was it his fault, because that cross come over to Connor to head that ball. But I would say, it's because, he could see that he was a little bit drained, to be honest, at the time. And, he fell over. And, there's three Canadian players, in the box at that time, right at the near post. So, yeah, Demarco, big player. You could see that whenever he stepped on the pitch for the Reggae Boyz, he is that marquee guy. He's a player that will make things happen, but I still have to give, Gregory, a lot of support, because, even though he was getting run over a lot of times by Buckingham, he never failed to like drop off. He always coming up against that 1v1 battle, and it's just you have to be brave. First time he said that, first time, what's the name of your show? So this is Mr. United. So this is they call it Media House. This is a channel name. I just talk about Reggae Boyz. Whenever they talk, but I have a Prem podcast where I talk about the Premier League. I do Champions League review. Sometimes if I have the time, I do the preview. And but mainly about the Prem podcast. I would do it, with Daniel Football Show. So, this is Daniel Football Show. He's the co-host of the Prem podcast, and he has a thing that he talk about, the Extra Time podcast, and Weekend, where talk about Extra Time podcast is something that we talk about all the big games around the world outside of the Premier League. So the Prem podcast is on this channel, and the Extra Time talk is on his channel. So we talk about the big games. We go into Mexico, we tap into Brazil, we tap into the Saudi, everywhere, Italian, everywhere the big games is at, all the big derbies, that evening Mexico, the Copa Libertadores against, we spoke about that. So yeah, but yeah, Mr. United, really appreciate come over here and give us a strength. Really appreciate that, But remember, don't forget to subscribe and like before you get out. But yeah, the Prem podcast, usually be around, we don't really have a set time, because sometimes we kind of a little bit busy, so we usually air live the Prem podcast at 4-3 p.m. On Sundays, and right after that will be the Extra Time talk and Daniel Football Show. So you guys can go over there, and support him. He talk about Chelsea, and he's a German supporter. So yeah. Yeah, so back to the game, then the midfield, Joel Latibody have a woeful game in the middle. I don't know, everywhere I go and watch, Reggae Boyz, podcast content about the Reggae Boyz, people are always talking about, Joel, about playing out of position. You guys can tell me what you guys think, but everywhere I go, every channels that, talk about the Reggae Boyz, fans always come on and voice their opinion, and Joel. And we knew that coming up in that Manchester City academy, he is a center half right back, and get transferred to Swansea. He played most of his time there right back and center half. And then now at Coventry, started out the season as that one of those three defenders in the back. His last couple of games after he came back off injury the other day, probably a month ago, he's been playing that like right inverted or right wing back. So I don't fancy him, but when you look at this Reggae Boy squad, when you look at the squad, who is in the squad that going to tackle? That's the thing. And I don't like him playing there, but when you look at the squad, who is going to tackle? Who's going to do that little dirty work? I mean, he's not really good at it. He's always shy away from the ball. I watched him. The first time I watched him, it was in Kingston. In that first leg last week Saturday, and every time whenever the Reggae Boys kicking out the ball or trying to play it out, he is nowhere to be found. As Daniel Jansi was like the only man in the middle in that first leg, trying to go short, and sometimes even DJ, drop in that back line as a left center back, trying to play at the ball, because we don't really have that player that can distribute the ball to the attacking player. So he's the only player that can do it. And DJ is a player, number 10, being playing consistently at the number 10 position for Stoke City in the championship this season. And talking of experience, as a natural number 10, sometime when you get the coach gave you a decision to do, like, look, you're going to play a number 6. It's going to be, you're going to play it because the coach said that, but initially you're going to be a little bit nervous. You're going to be a little bit nervous because sometimes collecting the ball a little bit deep than upwards in the opposition defensive third, it's a different scenario, because when you collect the ball deep, knowing that you cannot lose the ball. And this is all Big Hunch play coach's team with Spurs. You could see whenever Spurs get the ball, they're going to play the ball. You see Bissouma, you see Madison, both midfielders dropped really deep, as both midfielders are the best players that can distribute the ball, can carry out the ball their back to goal for Spurs. And they do that consistently this season, and that's one of the reward of how Spurs play out from the back, with their Argentinian Romero, and what's the other guy named Vance? I don't remember what's his name, Van or something. But we don't have that player, so we only have DJ, that someone who will get on the ball. But sometimes when DJ get on the ball, even though in that first leg in the National Stadium he played really good, especially in the second half, but the fans, every time when he get the ball, sometimes DJ takes a little bit of too much touches on the ball. When he finally get his decision, is he going to turn? Van de Ven, Van de Ven. So when he decide that he's going to turn, the space already gone. You understand? The space already gone. So DJ sometimes he's a really good player, but he sometimes left-sided too much. If the ball is on his right side, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to turn at the ball. But we just have to work with what we have. But what the coach did, man, I don't know whose decision it was, to put Damian Lowe in the CDM. Driving to the game, me and Kevin, I don't know how this conversation came up, but we were talking about play. He was saying that I told him that Damian Lowe is going to start, and he's going to start with Pinnock, and Bernard is going to be on the bench. And he was like, "You think Damian Lowe is a good CDM?" I was like, "I don't know, but remember our days playing in the Cassava League. I watched Damian Lowe as a youngster for Harborview. I remember playing in that position. I remember when I was at Arnett Garden at the time, and as a youngster, playing in that top 12, and Arnett Garden was playing Harborview, and I remember Damian Lowe as a CDM and can play that defensive area. So, but he played a stellar game. He played a stellar game in that second half for the Reggae Boys. And I think, he's one of the player that, got the result over the line for us because of his aggression, his aggression in the middle. He don't scared to go at players. He don't scared to step up. As you know that, Damian Lowe, whenever he's playing at the center half position, he likes to step up. He likes to dive into challenge, and you could see that. The first goal. I think that was the first goal that Boyz scored. He was the one that made that challenge, and Boyz stuffed that one in the back of the net. But anyone decision, to put Damian Lowe in that stadium, it's a really good decision. But if you ask me if I would love to see Damian Lowe continue in the stadium, I don't think so. I think that was just a one-off thing where the game was crying out for someone like Damian Lowe to step in the midfield for the Reggae Boys and do a really nasty job during that time. But he picked up a yellow card. I don't know if it was. I think he fouled the number 7, or it was Alfonso. I think he fouled someone and he got that yellow card. And then he made another rational challenge. I was like, how long now the coach going to wait before he take Damian Lowe off? But he have that confidence in him, and just the seeing that he made a whole lot of correct decision during that game, and just not to pick up that second yellow card, and he was playing on thin thread during the whole second half. So really good game from him. But Daniel Johnson played a really good game too. He always tried to find himself into free space, trying to get on the ball. More than Joel was trying to get on the ball, but Damian Lowe presence, the Canadian, he made his presence felt in the middle of the park. He made his presence felt in the middle of the park, and he didn't do anything wrong yesterday. He was, whenever the Canadian playing out that ball, he's one of the first guy in that defensive third. For the Canadian era, try to win back the ball. He was pressing them as the field was greasy, it was wet. It was the right time, to play some dirty tackle in the midfield, and he just did what Damian Lowe do. But I don't want to see him continue in that role. When you look in the second half, the Canadian, I think they kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit, to be honest. If you ask me, did they kind of take the Jamaican team a little bit light? They got this game. They got this game. Ishmael say, yeah, like up the video, but yeah, did the Canadian team take us too light? Did they didn't do what they're supposed to do? They was just too comfortable. Why was Demi Gray? I get to that soon, Joel. Hold on. I think I lost what I was trying to say. The Canadian, they kind of ease up a little bit off the gas a little bit. Think they got this game under the belt, everything. They got this covered. But the Jamaicans, they didn't took that very, very soft, we're going to let this Canada team run us over. But the Demar Gray situation is that, he picked up a yellow card. I think, he went down injured. This referee, people, I wish I had someone was videoing me in the stadium. I was going crazy yesterday in the stadium. I was living it. I was living it yesterday because Cesar Ramos, the Mexican referee, it's just like this American referee. She gave us a hard time in the first leg. I think her name was Mary. That US referee. I think it was all US woman official that ref the first leg. But Cesar Ramos yesterday, that Mexican referee, I don't know what the hell he was doing. He gave us some hard call. And the Canadian players, they were so unprofessional because more, I don't know if halftime is still here, halftime TV is still here, but moments in the game, when Demi dropped, when Leon Bailey dropped, Jonathan David, when Blakey got the ball, and when we have someone on the field, even when Greg Lay dropped, he got some muscle injury, when and Blakey was trying to get the ball out, the Canadian players, Jonathan David was arguing with Blakey. It was like, why are you throwing away the ball? It must be something like that. And Blakey wasn't having it. Blakey wasn't having it. And if I was Blake, I would probably push him out of my face because that was nonsense. If a player drop, and I mean, it's not head injury, but sportsmanship, it's sportsmanship. He threw the ball out, and the Canadians went back and threw the ball to their teammate, and then started to attack the Reggae Boyz again. And it happened. It happened where 2 or 3 times where Jonathan David and Blakey was going at it. Both of them were going at it because when them are great job and they called for the stretcher, that's when they gave him the first yellow card. But when the referee called for a stretcher, you're supposed to go on a stretcher. If you don't and you refuse to go on a stretcher when the referee called, it's up to the referee can give you a yellow card. And he got a yellow card for that. And he went off the pitch, and I was looking at Demi. at the time over on that far side, and I saw out of my eyes the linesman, people, the linesman literally having flag and said so to Demi, come. And Demar went on the pitch. And soon as he went on the pitch, the ball came over right on his side. I think it was a Celtic right back, John Stone. If it wasn't John Stone, it was Buckingham. It was one of them. And the linesman he silently waved Demi on the pitch. That's why he went on the pitch and he kicked away the ball because I think he kicked away the ball. He didn't kick away the ball when the game was stopped. He kicked away the ball during the game was playing, and I think it was frustration because he got that yellow card, and he came back on the pitch and just come on and just pick up the ball and kick it away, and then the referee come on and give him another yellow card, and it was I don't know, man. I don't know, but I saw out of my eyes, and I was telling the other Canadians that, yo, that's not a red card because the linesman, he waved the Mary Gray on. That's the thing. And that's what the Mary Gray was trying to point it out to the referee. He was like, you go and talk to the linesman. Go and talk to him. He waved me on. And that's why Demar Gray was furious yesterday. He was furious yesterday, But Cesar Ramos, the Mexican referee, I don't know if, it's in CONCACAF, it's all about, the dinero, Mexico, US, Canada, but Reggae Boyz is going to stop them show, Reggae Boyz is going to stop them show, and I don't know how Honduras let Mexico beat them, scored a goal in the 101st minute of, I don't know, man. I just don't know. After getting a really good result, in Honduras against a very good Mexican team, you just throw away the game in the last minute and then lose out on penalty kick. But the Mexican officials, they were robbing us blatantly. Everyone saw it in the stadium. Even some females behind me they were saying the same thing, like, what did the Jamaican players did to this referee? Because we got some calls that should have gone our way. We got some calls that we should have gone our way, and that penalty kick, at first I didn't saw that, because of my angle. I was on the opposite side of the other goal, so I didn't see. But when I watched back the replay, I could not even see the screen. Where I was, the screen was right over my head. So all of those things have to be watched on replay. Oh, Joel said, "Oh, I didn't even know he was off the pitch. That's why I asked because I saw him." Yeah, he remember, he just picked up a yellow card. He walked off the pitch because the referee called a stretcher. He got a yellow card because he didn't went on the stretcher, and he walked off the pitch, got some treatment, from the medical staff, and he walked like he probably walked around 7 to 10 yards down to the center circle, close to the halfway point of the field, and he close to the linesman, and the linesman literally moved his hand and said, that's when, as soon as he said this, and then he went on the pitch, the ball came right over. I don't know if it was a setup, man, and then he just kick away the ball because of frustration, because of what he got that yellow card for. But I don't want to see Cesar Ramos, you know what I mean? He's one of the he's one of those big referee in CONCACAF. As you know, he's a Mexican, and he's coming under some heavy criticism, over there in the Liga MX, because I think when the Saudi Pro League just started, a couple months ago, he went to the Saudi Pro League, and he ref some games over there in the Saudi Pro League, and he came back the same day to ref games in the Liga MX, and the organization body of the Mexico Football Federation wasn't really having it. But what they're gonna do, he's getting like 3,000-4,000 a game, so he's not even getting half of that in the Mexican league. But Leon Bailey, man, I don't know, man. Leon Bailey got two sitter in the game. I think one in the first half and one in that second half where he hit the bar, Demari Gray again and Boza with a nice leave alone. And I don't know how. That was the 47th minute of the game. Leon Bailey got that opportunity, and we started out the second half really bright though. We started the second half as a team want to score more, a team that more hungry. So, but Leon Bailey should have scored that goal. I don't know how Leon Bailey is missing these opportunities, to be honest. I don't know how he's missing these opportunities, man. Leon Bailey need to get his goal, his shooting boot. I seen, I don't know if, I think Daniel said the same thing to me. He saw that, I think it was the last FIFA window when we played, I think, Haiti and Grenada. Leon Bailey started to drop the sacks a little bit, and from there I think he started to play really good. He stopped to put those sacks over his knee, but change his boots and all of that. But I don't know, man. Leon Bailey is missing these opportunities, man. I just don't know how these. But as a attacking player, sometimes when you're just not getting the right, all these referees, all these referees are, going against us. It doesn't matter who. Yeah, it doesn't matter who we get joy. These referees going to go against us. You sitting right beside me in that first leg in the national stadium, and we saw blatantly that woman referee from America. She just trying to rob us. I don't know why would you send an American referee, a country that share the same border, with someone that share the same border with America, come on to ref the game. It's just like you remember that World Cup qualifier game, when we played America. I think when we played America and we supposed to got that penalty, and it was a Costa Rican referee. Who remember that game in the national stadium? When we supposed to got that penalty. I think it was Damian Lowe was shooting the box or something like that. We supposed to get that penalty, and the Costa Rican referee he didn't give us that call, just because if Jamaica win that game, we would have even go a little bit more closer, to Costa Rica on the table. But these referees, man, in CONCACAF, their favoritism. So, Jamaica, it doesn't matter what happened, Jamaica is going to always be, back against the wall when it comes down to referee in the CONCACAF. You will never see probably like a Caribbean referee ref a game of Jamaica versus one of those top giant, CONCACAF team. You'd never see a referee like from the Bahamas, from the Trinidad era, from Guyana. You will never see these things happen, but you will see other referees, refing with their Central American peers or even the other teams from the border of their country. But Boza, talking about Boza, you just spoke about Leon Bailey of missing opportunities. Boza was this player probably 2 months, probably the last since the Gold Cup, since Boza been frozen out of Spartak mascot team because of that Spanish coach, came in and yeah, Leon Bailey left that shooting boots in England. I don't know what the hell is going on, man, with Leon Bailey. But yeah, Boza is the next one. He's on farm right now, really on good farm. But a couple months ago, even the Gold Cup, people write him off. Oh, he should get dropped. He's not good enough. His attitude. Sometimes the best of the best go through these issues with their club and country. It's up to us as a fan. We going to judge them and their performance, but at the end of the day, we have to always give the support. Not saying fans can't voice their opinion and players' performance, but Boza, being like he's gained a little weight, over in the summer. I don't know what was going on, but since he got transferred out of Russia and in that Clermont team right now playing week and week out, for this team, in the French league, it's like it's a different Boza. I'm seeing it's like a different Shamar Nicholson. I'm seeing, this is Shamar Nicholson. We're seeing that, want to get on the ball, not scared to shoot, setting up teammates, linking up players with midfielders, that's the Shamar Nicholson we saw during his first year and a half, playing for the Reggae Boyz, and seeing him coming back and farm, scoring goals in the French league and scoring goals in the black, green, and gold colors. It's just a joy. He's that player that that local born player, in the Reggae Boy team, in that number 9 position that people looking for. Yo, what's it, man? It is the man is just United. United is just a supporter of the game. It's just a love of the sports, man. So anywhere the ball game there, he's going to always be there, man. But yeah, how you pronouncing him? Drew Ross, aka Drew Fortis. Yeah, I guess he's a KC man. I guess Drew Fortis, yeah, you're on a Calabar man platform right now, black, green, and gold. I hear more black, green, and gold, the green and black. Yeah, man, bless up, man, bless up for the support, man. But yeah, just saying that, yeah, Boza is that player outside of when Shamar, when Mikel Antonio, is needed a rest, or as he's out injured now, he's that man that the all Reggae Boyz fans is looking on for to get the goals, and he's doing it right now, and we're going to need him a couple months from now, what, December, January, February. In the next 3.5 months from now, in Arlington, Texas, hope everyone can come out and watch that game. As yeah, man, big up yourself, Fortis, man. Thanks to the subscribe to the channel, But yeah, hope the people then can support, But Texas Texas is a weird place, of Caribbeans, not much. Not a big, massive of Caribbean people live in Texas. We played America. We played America in that World Cup qualify. I think we got 2-0 or 3-0, something like that. In Austin Stadium. I think Pepe scored a brace in that game. You're not going to see many supporters, but the support that we got last night, BMO Field in Toronto, it's massive. It's massive, I think if it was probably like a summer, it was a summer weather, you probably would see more yellow in the stadium, as but most people were wearing, black coats, at the time it was cold, rainy, so yeah, most people was having that sweater on, but the supporters, in the stadium, it was massive yesterday. I didn't knew until that tell you when I found out when Bobby Reed scored that goal, that penalty. That's when I found out that, damn, that's so much supporters in the stadium supporting Jamaica. The whole stadium lift up. You could hear, it, man. Everyone, and when that ball goes in, man, all the Canadian fans, they just drop everything. I saw a bunch of Canadian fans were standing right in front. Man, I was giving it to them last night. I was giving it to them. When that whistle blew the end of the game, man, I took my jacket off. I was in the shirt. I have some Jamaican people was like, hey, man, you catch cold. I'm like, listen, brother, catch cold because we qualify for the Copa America. Because they say the Copa America, it is a right step in a direction, for the players to get, more big games, and FIFA dates, and coming up against, top quality teams in South America. It's going to show us fans where us stands as the Reggae Boy team. So I think last time I think we played in that Copa America. I think it was in Chile when Winford Schaefer was the coach. It was that, I think, remember that, I think it was at 2015. Who can remember, the last time we played in the Copa America. I remember if it was 2015, one of those years. But yeah, it was a really so Fortis, man, you was watching the game on TV. But yeah, look, when Boyz scored that goal, there wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. The noise wasn't that big. You understand, Fortis, man, the noise wasn't that big. But until that Bobby Reed, even when Boyz scored the equalizer goal, that ball that is sliding, that ball from Demi, on the back post, even when that scored, and we tied the game 3-3 and aggregate 2-1 when we went up 2-1, you could hear, even when that goal scored, you could still drop a pin and hear it. As most Jamaicans in the stands at the time were still fearful, probably like, wondering if the Mexican, wondering if the Canadians going to score again, and they scored, right. They scored. It took them like 5 minutes before they scored. But I feel like it was 2015 though, because 2017 was, I think, was during that time. I don't know. I don't remember, man. But yeah, but as I said, that penalty kick. So when that penalty kick, when the referee called that handball, the stadium went silent. I was looking around asking people like, what the hell just happened? Because I didn't saw when I only saw when Damian Lowe, won that ball over by the corner flag, and I didn't saw when the ball came over in the box. So I just heard the whistle blow, and I saw the referee walking towards the 18-yard box, and I was asking around, watching on TV, was Lord even whenever I went attacking after. Yeah, yeah, man. It was really loud, man. So I was asking, is that a pen? But no one, around me didn't know, at the time, if it was a penalty. It was, everyone was confusing, and the Canadians were surrounded the Mexican referee, and it took like 3-4 minutes, and give kudos to DJ. He picked up the ball because one of those Canadian defender, when he found out, the referee going to give a PK, he went right over on the penalty spot and started to rub his feet all over the on that penalty spot. And DJ took up the ball. He took the ball up and he walked towards, the penalty area, and he moved the Canadian player, and he just started shielding. But when I saw him pick up the ball, I wasn't doubting him. DJ is a really good PK kicker. He kicked penalty when he was at Preston, and he's a good set piece taker. But Bobby Reid, I think Bobby Reid is a player, time and time and time again, don't get enough credit for his work ethic in the midfield. Yeah, Bobby Reid don't get a lot of praises, for his work ethic. I don't know if I'm one of the few people that see that Bobby Reid, his performance when he put on that Reggae Boy jersey, he's like Bobby Reid is really dedicated. Even when I was at the team hotel last night, and he walked in. As soon as he walked in, some other fans who was waiting on the Boyz, they started to ask Bobby Reid question and ask him to take pictures, and he's so humble. Most of the English players, first time seeing them up front, they are so humble. Like you can ask them anything, they will reply, and I think at the time, halftime TV asked me, he was doing halftime TV was doing a interview with Prezi, Mr. Ricketts, and I was there, assisting him, and Gregley was walking by at the time, and he saw me. He walked up to my back, and he tapped me on my shoulder and said, bless up, thanks for the support. Like, I didn't even see him. He initially came over to me first, and boom the fist, and I tell him, say, bless up, man, you see. So yeah, most of the players, they are so humble, man, especially English players, they are so grateful. Their attitude around the fan is so, you could know that these lads, they are really professional. you know Yeah, Fortis, man, yeah, man, even when he doesn't play great, yeah, Bobby Reid, I don't know, man. People need to give Bobby Reid some more credit to his game. Look, even when you watch Bobby Reid play for Fulham, even when Fulham is having the Fulham team is having the worst game, Bobby Reid is when you look at his attitude, it's always looking in a positive way. You just don't have anything bad to say about Bobby Reid. And who remember, he missed that goal. I don't remember which game. I think it was in the World Cup qualify. He missed that sitter. Anyone in the chat can remember. That sitter that Bobby Reid, and they crucified him. I mean, he should have scored it, but the way how they went hard, and Bobby, I don't think at the time he deserved all of that. Great players miss more ball, and almost 3 yards out. I seen this African player, dribble says Cisse miss ball on the line for Liverpool already, and it's just one of them things. But yeah, Bobby Reid, his work ethic is so good, and I I want to Leon, he's I've been playing against Leon Bailey since we were at first time playing against Leon Bailey. I was 10, and Chippy was like just turned 8. I think I was 11. First time playing against Chippy, I was 11, and he was like 9. He was like 9 years old at the time, around that. Chippy, from them time until now, he's a player that he never say die. He always want to help his team. That's why, when I see fans criticize Chippy, I criticize him too. And the reason why I criticize Leon is that, I knew from way back then, way before a lot of people, saw Leon Bailey. I saw a big potential in him, from way back then, since he's playing for Phoenix, in that black and white jersey. And, people, I never ever, beat a Craig Butler team before. Never. Over my probably say 10 years, playing Cassava League. I never beaten, Chippy team before. Never. But no knowing Chippy as a player, I think I trained him on the same team, but not like as a registered player for Phoenix, but I trained him. But knowing this player, seeing him, train and all of that, seeing him growing up to what the player is now. I know Leon Bailey can do really better, to be honest, and even though he have some attitude, off the field, what people having issues with, and but I think that can, ages and experience, along the journey will help him, to be a man more mature, in those areas. But look, people, I want to share something what I witnessed, what I witnessed in Toronto, being around the circle, where, other friends of mine, know other players. I want to say this, I'm not going to call any name, but trying to keep it as positive as, we qualified, for the Copa America, we still celebrating and all of this, but this is what I have to say, and me as a player, I didn't make it as a professional, the highest I go, it's semi-pro. That's the farthest I go, in my career. But I know what it is. I've been around, a professional setup. I know what it is, how professional, live their life and how they move or they act off the field, and seeing and hear these things, with the current players. This is what I want to say. Fitness are one of the big issue, with the team. Fitness, I have seen a lot of YouTubers, a lot of media houses, everyone, come said this about the Reggae Boy team, about their fitness, and what I saw, in Toronto, it's not that's not all professional players. That's not all professional players go about it. Look, people, to be honest, probably like 5 hours before the game, 4 hours, you have man eat a big double box food with oxtail with a bag of fat on it. Believe it. May I tell you, believe it. You have players, may I tell you, me see it. Me there at Toronto, I'm a see it. Me there on bridgings where connect to certain players, and I've seen it, but I'm not saying players cannot like eat a certain food, but come on, we are professionals. We are professionals. The players cannot, carrying this attitude, by eating a certain food. Who saw that documentary about Ronaldo, with his son? You know, he is trying to ban his son from drinking sodas and stuff like that. And seeing our players eating fried chicken, seeing our players, eating oxtail after games. That's not a good full body recovery. That's not all your recovery after a game, especially a game that, a hard fought game in Toronto in a harsh winter rain. It took a lot of energy out of, you understand? And see the man them, order food, the type of food, and it's just that's not how professional players live. And you guys can even who remember when in the Gold Cup, I think it was the quarterfinals when we beat Guatemala, the man might eat pepperoni. The man might celebrate and just might eat pepperoni. Like, you will never see these things with big professional, top tier national teams or club teams. You will never see things like these. You will never see things like these, to be honest. And like go like me, play Division 2 at the college level. after like a training, something during before the season start, we will normally do like two, three training session, um, 2, 3 training session a day, and that last training session, the last training session of the day, you see, after that training session, you need the right amount of substance to put in your body because that's what going to help you recover from what you did earlier with those two training sessions, and just see the man them, telling their friends to order this, to order that, and I was just bro, I was just looking at my brethren them like seriously, man. The man never order them type of food there to eat after the game. To eat after the game. But it is what it is, everybody bread butter two side, a man must know how he want to live and how he want to treat him body. That's why my generation, I don't think we're going to see another Cristiano Ronaldo and another Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi wife banned him from eating pizza and from drinking certain juice. She banned him, and it's the same thing with CR7. That's why we didn't saw enough of Ronaldinho, Rivaldo. You could say at some extent to Ronaldo, the Nazario, the Brazilian, but he had this issue with his body weight, and he got that sickness. But this is why we don't really see much of our greats, in the past before, Messi and Ronaldo, even the past of Diego Armando Maradona. Everyone know that his addiction that he used to add for that substance. So I don't think my generation would ever see another set of players like Leo and CR7 do what they did for 2 decades. A man like Ibrahimovic, Gianluigi Buffon, these guys are really professional players. These guys live it. These guys live it. And example, speaking of Jamaicans, Usain Bolt, he said that, he doesn't like to train, he just wants to get up and just run, but that, that's not going to get him win races in the track and field circle, but he knew that he have to train hard, and he's decided that, he's going to put in a 10, 12 years of effort into this. He's going to put in a 10, 12 years of effort into this, and 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 look what he did. He's the world fastest man. He's the best athlete ever. So if a player or any athlete can put in the work and the dedication, of staying true to your body, because look, if you don't treat your body now, you can't wait until you're like 5, 7 years. You wait until you're like 5, 7 years, after pace. It's just your body just not going to keep up. I'm trying to remember. It was Michael Owen. I was watching a documentary about Michael Owen. And treating his body. And treating his body. Taking care of his body. He wish he could have taken care of his body much better than how he did. In his latter part of his career. But when your body used to something, it's you just can't force your body to do it anymore. That's how the body works. Your mind can tell us that you can do it. Your mind can tell us that you can do it, but the man that need for just stop the national program as like it's an ends. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Stop the thing as if like it's a hands where you can make it feel like you're on the block or something like that, but make it more professional and a professional scale. But the man just try to make the thing just look like it's like coming for the national duties. It's like you're on a hands. You can just get up and just go do whatever you want to do, but people, seeing the players, and how they move, and at the team hotel, last night. people, I heard players, I heard players not going taking a dig or anything, but I heard players talking about going to party after the game. You saw what happened to Marcus Rashford. You lost the big Manchester derby, and then you're going out in Manchester to party. That doesn't sit well. That's not going to sit well with the United supporters. It's just not going to sit well. So we just want the man them to just stop, take this thing as if like it's an end where you can come. People, I seen a lot. Like I seen a lot. I seen a lot and I heard a lot with people around me, talking with players on the phone. I heard a lot. I'm not going to say, certain things, not going to say certain things, I just going to point it out a few things, changes can come, as I don't want to break the momentum of, no, yeah, but look, players can celebrate in a boss, but it's just sometimes it's not all right. It's just how players want to do it. You understand? When all right, I have 14 on right now on the live. Probably 10 or 12 of you guys, watch Ryan show, right? And when I heard Ryan spoke about, these things of that he witnessed, around the camp and things like how, players hack around the camp and stuff like that. I didn't believe everything what he said, to be honest. I somewhat believed to a certain distance, but me going to the game and be around past players, because most of these players, they are not my friends. They are not my friends, like where I can pick up my phone and call like, hey, but there are people that, I used to play with, so yeah, man and man know man and, aliens and go through and them good thing there, but things are true. Things are true, things are really true. All right. Take forward. All right. Believe it, bro. Believe it, broski. As earlier I said this earlier, I land in Toronto around 2 a.m. And when I land in Toronto, man that come pick me up just tell me, man, still there at a party. The game they ever play it, brother. I them think the way I talk about the game they ever play it. So how much party, bro? Man can party during the season, yes, but it's how you do it. It's how you do it, bro. Me land in a Toronto early Tuesday morning, 2 a.m. and my broski brother come scoop me up from the airport. Broski was on the road, with the man them, and players still out there. I don't know if the coach or anything, or if the coaches know. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, talking after a game. Yeah, don't get me wrong, boss. No, man, players can go out, man. But when you do it already before a game, you should be looking to refocusing about yourself, recuperating your body. Look, I don't know if you played, football, if he's a current player or he's a past player, take forward. I don't know, but I can tell you, I played I played what they call that state. I played a state Copa already in Michigan, in Flint, Michigan already. In I think it was in November. And it wasn't snowing, but it was kind of somewhat type of weather that they experienced yesterday at BMO Field. The dew was coming down heavily. And when you played in those weather, your body actually going to need extra rest, extra hours. You need to put more substance in your body to recover, because you put out a lot. When you play in the winter, you put out a lot of energy. You burn a lot of calories, and you need to put back substance in your body. So players like, who is leaving from Toronto or wherever going back to Europe, we're going to be on a 7-8 hour flight to keep your body recuperating on the flight. Bro, there's a lot of I didn't play, as I said, I didn't play professional, but there's a lot of details to, and these players know this. You think that you think that I say, I'm not saying any Jamaican players, but you feel like a player like who play for one of those top 5 clubs in the world, playing at a Champion League game away. Say, a team fly to Paris, Partyland, or even in Rome, no, not Rome, in Milan, where people go out on a fashion night and all these stuff. How much times a year players playing away big Champion League games, and go out to have a drink or go out to have a little fun night, probably less than 24 hours, probably 30 hours before a match day kick off. Or I used to play. I used to play. Yeah, so yeah, he used to play in the Bronx. So even playing pickup football when they played in the winter, bro, it take a lot out of your body. So how much if the man them can just do the thing on a more professional base, bro? If certain players didn't do what they did before the game, and hold it down, go out and play out them heart, and they do what they have to do, and then we beat Canada as what we did, and said that they want to go out and have a few hours out, I wouldn't have a problem, because I mean, you can't be really too hard on players. You can't really be too hard on players, to be honest. You know, going out to have a little, fun night with players, and and fans, and just to celebrate the moment. You can do that. But it's how it happened frequently, bro. That's the thing for me. And you will never hear players like the great, as I said, Ibra and Messi and CR. These players keep private sessions. And the food and the alcohol that they consume, it's not going to do much damage to their body, as they do these things like 4 days before a match day kick off. Back in Alex Ferguson time, you couldn't drink red wine, I think, 48 hours before a game, else you're not going to play. You're just not going to play. And that's the thing, but too much players, in our system, in our old Jamaican circle, locally and abroad, not really fit enough. When you look at a Mo Salah, when you look like a Mo Salah body frame, I'm not going to put CR7 in on this. When you look like a Mo Salah frame or a Mane, these players, you can't even see a body fat. You can't really see a body fat on them. And our players them locally and who born locally get contract overseas, and it's not a lot of gym work. In Jamaica, me grew up, in the system, the youth system, come right up to under 20 in Jamaica, and the players don't do gym work. When it comes to gym work, even me used to hide. When it comes to abdominal and strength of the core, you have to really be hard on players. You have to be really hard. Even when I used to play for Arnett Garden, when I used to over there, train and the Baron Earl, and when King Earl said it's steps time. I hide, every man start hide, man. Even my coach, that gave me the opportunity to play first organized football, Coach Chin. When the man they say core, put your foot on the grill and go up, and I hide my height, man. It's all about playing football for us. So you see, Xavi Simons, the Barcelona player, when he used to in the Barcelona system, the La Masia, and he left and he went to Paris Saint-Germain, he said that in Barcelona they don't do gym work, and in Spain it's just a thing for them, but they are technical on the ball and they are fit. They are fit. That's the thing. But we are not technical on the ball. Even when take forward, a man who play football in the Bronx, pick up football, even the summer leagues, whatever it is, you played against any Latino players, Mexican, Colombian. Even if these players born in America, these players more technical and gifted on the ball, more than us. I don't know. It's just a thing where the Central American players, they are so technical on the ball. Where we Jamaicans, when we playing against them, you just looking at them like they're just doing it simple. But what we have is strength, pace, and physicality. That is our attributes. That is our attributes. And that's how Jamaican should be playing. I was talking to, it was Tuesday before, Tuesday before I went on my flight to Toronto. I was talking to the Brazilian. I'm not going to call any name. I was talking to a Brazilian, to WhatsApp. One of the Brazilian that played for Montego Bay. I was talking to him, and I asked him, what's the difference between the Brazilian league? And I asked, and it wasn't one of them. I was talking to, oh, so that's a good, yeah. They are very technical, that's what I'm saying. But I was talking to multiple of the Brazilians that played for Montego Bay right now, and we were chit-chatting for like 2-3 hours, through WhatsApp, and I was so fascinated to ask him, like, what's the difference, you guys, like the league that you guys are coming from, what's the difference between that and the Jamaican Premier League? They look at me and said that, the league in Brazil, in Brazil, it's much quicker, it more dynamic. And he said in Jamaica, he said the Brazilian league is more technical, and they played more with more skill facet, and they're more dynamic and how they move. But he said the Jamaican Premier League is all about, he said, it's brutal force. That's what he said. It's all brutal force. And that's how we play. That's how we play. You can't take that away. That you will never take that away from us. That's how we made. We are very strong, powerful sets of people, from Jamaica. So yeah, he said that, he said it's good, but the players, they are played very rough. They very rough, and he said it's very physical. And he said at times, when you played, he said at times when you played the big teams, they will play a little bit more with speed. You play with more speed. But yeah, people come close off of this note. 11:19 now, don't know. Catch up for our work tomorrow. Ryan, pick up yourself, man. Hey, people. Say, I'm there at Boyz, and when I just came to Boyz to play. Yeah, man, great to see you, Ryan, last night, man. I don't know, man. I'm to you, man. But when I went to Boyz, I went to Boyz to play under 13, but at the time, under 13 supposed to start after under 15. So, Ryan, he was that big goalkeeper, coming up in that youth system for Boyz over the years in his age group, and I came into that squad. Ryan give me a hard time. Yeah, man. Ryan and Leo, Leo and Charlan, Fast Car, not saying that they treat me bad, but you know, I have to earn that respect. So when we were doing a shooting drill, and Coach Adrian, Coach Mickey was, you kick the ball at him and he give back that one touch and you could, he kick the ball back to goal and Ryan was that goalkeeper. I was a 13-year-old, I when I was 13, my body didn't really develop, so I was kind of weak. And I kicked the ball and, and Ryan said, hey man, go back and Maxi with that. You want some calming porridge? Yo, the whole time I hide away from the shooting gym. Like, but him never know say, what he said, it kinda helped motivate me because I went home and tell my father, say, yo, say kick a ball and shooting gym. And the goalkeeper said that, I need some more calming porridge. Instantly, my father started chewing up my body. Yeah, man. Couple of years after, man, I start kick ball off for Ryan, man. Never know, say I look at 13-year-old youth this, but yeah, man, big up yourself, right? I couldn't even make that Boyz under 15 team, man. Couldn't make that team. That team was a host. That was one of the best. Was one of the best under 15 team. I think Marvin Morgan was in that team. I don't know if he was in that. Ryan, was Marvin Morgan in that team when I just came to Boyz, supposed to play on a 13 in the under 15 season. I don't remember but that team was a household name, run by Kevin Blackwood, man. Close bridging. Big up yourself, Blackwood, anyway. You don't know. One love. Yeah, man, but I close off, relax up. Probably don't know if basketball I play, I just like to watch sports generally, Yeah, some NBA still a play. So yeah, I'm going to check out this Maverick and Lakers team. I'm a Celtic Warrior fan. Celtic, a Boston Celtic supporter. But yeah, people, I'm going to relax, and refocus back for work a morning, even though it's going to be Thanksgiving over here in America. But I, man, don't have time for that. Man, make that paper money and come back home, and do what we love. But people, bless up on yourself, Really appreciate everyone that's passed through tonight, to give the card and media us a strength. Hope everyone leave, and click that like. If you're new people, you know what to do, man. Click that subscription bell, going to be out, just respect everyone that's passed through. Everyone that's passed through the building to them and to support the channel, man. They don't know. We're young and keep growing same way, learning, from the best, putting in your own ingredients to make your own flavor, make your own little sauce. So yeah, bless up on yourself, people. Out.